Welcome to Deverbo TV. My name is Brian Bowles, and this is your course, Better English for a Better Job. And this is Unit 2 of Module 1. And here in Unit 2, we're going to be looking at cover letter writing, getting your recruiter's attention. When was the last time that you bought a box of chocolates for somebody? I want you to imagine. Imagine you go into the store, and if you haven't already tried the chocolates, you go in and you look at the section with the selection of chocolates. Now I imagine if you're looking at those boxes of chocolates that you want to purchase for somebody, you will probably look at them and the box will have a design, some colors, maybe some pictures. And to some degree, that box will probably have an influence on your decision. Now, I want you to imagine that your skills are like the chocolates inside the box. And when a company buys your skills, essentially, during the interview and the application process, they are really buying based on the package of the chocolates. In other words, your CV is essentially the package around your skills, and that's what a company will see. Well, if the CV is the package on the box, what would the cover letter be? Well, the cover letter is probably the equivalent to the advertisement or an advertisement poster, perhaps placed at some point as you enter into the supermarket, or maybe the display picture right next to the chocolates. And the question is would that poster or that display influence your decision to buy a particular box of chocolates? Well, it may or it may not, depending on the design and depending on the effectiveness of that particular display, which is a little bit like your cover letter, meaning that it might not be the most important thing, but yes, it could have an influence on somebody going to the next step and buying your box of chocolates. Well, in this unit, we're going to look at how to write an effective cover letter in order to sell yourself and the language and the format that you need to use to give it the best image and the best packaging. Specifically, we're going to look at 5 areas. First, we're going to look at cover letter objectives, cover letter format, some do's, some don'ts, and some cover letter enhancement tips. Well, before we go any further, yes, it is indeed important that we recognize that there is a debate about whether or not you should use a cover letter. You see, times are changing. Time is important. And some would say that the old tradition of using a cover letter is still important. And others say that, frankly, don't waste the time on a single sheet of paper or a quick bit of text. So, why are we going to spend time on looking at a cover letter? Well, you would be interested to know a few statistics. First of all, according to a study by behiring.com, it was discovered that only 17% of recruiters actually look at a cover letter. That means that 83% of the selectors don't even look at your cover letter. So, why use one? Well, let me tell you why. In an article in Forbes.com from 2012, career coach Carolina Seniza Levine says that you should still use a cover letter for the following reasons. First, for those that do read it, it matters a lot. Second, you never know who will receive your cover letter. And third, even if no one reads it, guess what? It helps you to highlight what really matters. She says, when you make these choices and commit them to paper, this helps your networking, interviewing, and overall positioning in your job search. And personally, I'm going to give you a few reasons more why you should use a cover letter. First of all, basically, nowadays we're talking about the email that you send. So, your cover letter is not necessarily a piece of paper, but it's your email that's going to be the first thing that a potential employer will see. Secondly, if you're applying for any sort of job position involved with communication, marketing, advertising, journalism, public relations, anything in those areas, then I guarantee the recruiter is definitely going to want to see your abilities to write professionally. And third and lastly, if you're a non-native speaker, a well-written cover letter gives you the ability to demonstrate that you have a higher level of English skill.
Hi, this is Gary Toomey. In this video, we are continuing our series of phrasal verbs in English. Have you heard the phrasal verbs speak up and speak out? Sorry, I can't hear you. Could you speak up? Okay, there's the first explanation. To speak up simply means to speak louder with a higher volume. So if you can't hear somebody, you could ask them to speak up. To speak out is a little different. When you speak out, you normally voice your opinion, usually in a protest. So people are speaking out against the new taxes that the government has introduced. So remember, always speak up when you're speaking English.
Hi, I'm Anna Collins, and it's time for an idiom. The idiom today is yes man. Do you know what a yes man is? It's used to describe a person, usually a man, who effectively says yes to everything. In the office, they'll say yes. For example, they might want to impress their boss, and they would never say no, so they would always say yes. Or they want to look good, so they always say yes. For example, ask John to do the report. He's a yes man. In that, he won't say no. Do you know anyone who's a yes man? Well, now you know this idiom, a yes man.